Hello, my friends, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you the 3 metaphysical ways that you can heal your trauma. My name is Alicia. I am a somatic coach and yoga instructor, and I have also been on quite the healing journey, using many different ways to go inward to heal myself so that I could carry on in my soul's evolution. And so if you are on a healing journey, if you are into doing practices to empower yourself to your own healing, this is going to be the video for you. Now, before I get started, I just want to point out that I am not a doctor, I am not a psychologist, I am not a professional in that way. I have had experiences. I have alchemized those experiences, one of them being a very intense Kundalini awakening that lasted a week. I feel like I have learned things about myself from my experience, and I share with you from that perspective, from my own lived experience and from what has worked for me as well as what has worked for my clients. So please listen with discernment. And if something does not resonate or feel safe for you, then please leave it behind. All right. The 3 ways that you can heal your trauma from a metaphysical perspective are Kundalini Yoga, soul retrieval, or timeline healing, and ritual. So I'm going to speak a little bit about each of those, and then different things that you can do so that you can connect with the practice. This is very practical. I want to leave you with tools, different things that you can do as soon as this video is over. So the first one is Kundalini Yoga. And why this works to heal trauma is because I believe trauma energy is life force energy in its negative expression. It's the natural Kundalini life force energy that flows through us, that helps us to grow and evolve and connect with source and divine and our highest self. That, through different circumstances that happen to us, gets constricted, and we start to make up beliefs about ourselves because we don't feel safe to expand and to grow. So that energy becomes constricted. When you practice Kundalini Yoga, it helps to empower your nervous system to feel safe enough and strong enough to release the negativity. And just like if you think of like flooding a stream with a lot of water so that you push out the, like, say, the murky density. That being said, you always need to practice by listening to your own body and your own limits, because overwhelming the nervous system can also just throw you into shock. So I highly invite, if in Kundalini is interesting, like either it's for you or it's not for you. I'm finding there's not a lot of people that are like, I kind of like it, but maybe not. It's like a yes or a no. So when I speak about Kundalini divine life force energy coiled like a snake at the base of your spine, and as she awakens, your consciousness evolves and she helps you to move through the trials and tribulations of your life so that you can connect to your highest self, that you can see time outside of time. Like if that resonates for you, the practice is worth a go, okay? And you can do that. I'm going to leave a link for you to my other channel that has many different Kundalini yoga practices. These are all very, very gentle. I teach from a very light perspective. There's not a whole lot of dogma in there, right? I like the mudras, I like the mantras, but I approach it with a very light for everyone perspective. So if what I was saying about Kundalini is resonating for you, please head on over to that channel and check out those practices. Give them a go. See how it goes. And be honest with yourself. Feel into it. There's a lot of cues to just sit. Like what you're doing is you're feeling into your energy after you practice. You do an exercise and then you reflect inwardly. How did this feel? Does this feel good? And I think more than anything, what Kundalini Yoga does is it creates a space in your body so that some of the deeper wounds can rise up and be healed. So again, if you're not ready to go there, but I think if you've clicked on this video, you are interested in your own healing. So I'll let that be for you. The second way that you can heal your trauma from a metaphysical perspective is what I have seen called soul retrieval. But I'm going to talk about this in a more broader sense of just timeline healing, because I think we can go forward and we can also go back. So this again goes back into trauma being energy being connected to our soul. And when we have a traumatic experience, a part of our energy fractures off. And it's constantly trying to make its way back to us by creating these not-like experiences. You can possibly know this as the shadow. But what we can do with timeline healing, with soul retrieval, is we can go back to the moment an experience happened where we know that fractured our energy. And we can go speak to ourself in that moment and give ourselves the healing, the response, the empathy that we needed in that moment. This is oftentimes when we were children. This is often when something happened to us and we didn't have the capacity to understand what was going on. And so things got very, very broken off. And from that moment, we learned to connect to different beliefs about what would keep us safe, how to show up in our life, how to dim our light, how to act a certain way, to fit in, to be safe, how to be small, how to stay small. It's really important when we're going through a spiritual awakening, when the energy is starting to rise and to show us who we truly are. We can't move forward without looking back. We need to understand. That's part of the soul's evolution. That's why we came here, is to understand and then to love. And from a Kundalini energy rising perspective, those three lower chakras hold those denser human energies. And when we want to rise up into the heart, we need to take all that baggage, whether through it was our fault, not our fault, none of that really matters. It's our baggage. We're carrying it around in tons of suitcases. And I'd like to think of this analogy as now we're coming to this beautiful, wooden drawbridge, a rope bridge at the top of a mountain. And it's Misty Mountain and we want to cross, but we have all this heavy baggage and it can't come with us. If we want to come into our heart, if we want to evolve, if we want to expand, we can't carry that heavy baggage. So we have to open up the suitcases and we have to look inside. And that's what I guess some of these metaphysical practices are helping us do, is to look inside that baggage and what's there, as well as the little golden nuggets that are held within the pain, because there definitely are the golden shadow and different parts of us that, when we stop repressing them, they are actually like a force to be reckoned with and help us in our life. So this is the reason why we want to go back. And this is the reason why we want to uncover those moments. And this can get hard for people if you are really young and you block these out. You actually just create either a false memory on top, or you black it out completely, which can happen too. And then the more you heal one layer, the other layer bubbles up. And I felt this in my own mind, literally felt the moment that a belief was in my subconscious and then all of a sudden became conscious to me when I had the emotional and nervous system capacity to deal with it. And Kundalini helps you with that. It helps you create the capacity for these wounds to come up, but that's not necessarily what everybody wants, needs, or otherwise. When we go back and we give our wounded child, wounded teenager, when we give them the love And like, that's inside of us. That's what's creating our reality. These are all parts of us. So when we go inside and we give ourselves that love, and we recreate it in our mind, we recreate the situation, and then we help our small self. And so I've done these retrievals. I've done it with a shaman where there was like no talking. I've done it with another lady, a healer, who walked me through a scenario. And then when I was sitting in a meditation one time, just sporadically, I started going back to all these moments in time that was healing a specific like teenager wound I had, and I was reclaiming. And so I just went with it. I was like, okay, I know what's happening, so I'm going to go with it. And I felt like so powerful after. It was so beautiful. So you can definitely do these healings yourself. You can set the intention. If you feel grounded enough, create a safe space for yourself and sit in your meditation, revisit these points in time where you felt like your power was taken away, and reclaim it. Step in there. Be, if you have to yell at someone, if you have to burn shit down, metaphorically, you can go into these memories and you can provide yourself with power. Now, I believe just like we can do that, our self from the future can come to now and help us. So if you're struggling now, we can set the intention to connect to our future self. I was doing one of these guided going back to my younger self shadow work meditations in one of the programs I'm a part of. And I ended up in my house, and I ended up walking past little me. I wasn't quite sure what I was doing there at this point, but I walked past little me, and all of a sudden I was taken right back to a memory where I was about 5 years old, and I remember running down the stairs, finding my mom. I remember I was so overcome with grief. I was so sad. I was bawling. I was like, missed her so bad, but she was like right there. Now I have had this memory, and it was so big that I remember it, and it wasn't really like anything special. It was just this one moment in time. And what happened while I was in that meditation is that me right now, future me, had gone back there. And because I hold the information that my mom has passed on with me, at that moment, I passed it on to my little self, and she felt that, and she went running to her mom. Now I felt that. This was just a few days ago, so it blew my mind. And I was like, okay, so if me right now I can go back and actually affect, this crosses imagination, right? There's more to this. I felt it viscerally. I know it. I'm not playing an imagination game that's helping me to heal and feel better. I'm truly affecting the energetic imprint of certain scenarios in my life, freeing my energy. This is big. So I found some other stuff online that has all to do with, tapping into your future self and asking for help. So at this moment in time, that is what I'm doing, because I'm kind of in this in between where my business hasn't quite completely taken off, and I've left behind my 17-year corporate career, and I'm like, okay, I could use some help. So you call upon that version of you that is doing what you want to do. And you wait for some downloads, for some inspiration. So that's where I'm at. Sharing this as I go through it, as I've been going through it. Now, the last way to metaphysically heal your trauma is through ritual. And ritual works because it brings what's in the subconscious mind into the conscious world, and it lets you work with it with your hands, and it can be so healing. Doing full moon ceremonies, doing new moon ceremonies, setting intentions, lighting candles, any working with nature, ritualizing the times of the month, the times of the year, bringing yourself into that cyclical nature of all things, and He even said, maybe if you don't even know what you're healing from, but you know you want to be healed, to set the intention, I want healing. And then when you ritualize things, you're building a resonance field of energy around an idea, thoughts becoming things. This is your helping thoughts becoming things. I want healing. I want more healing. Now you're thinking it, you're saying it. Maybe you decide to do a ritual on the new moon to set the intention for healing. So now you're bringing in that layer. So now you've got 3 layers. You've got thoughts, you've got words, you've got the time and the moon and the cosmos. Now maybe you set up an altar and light a candle. So now you're building another layer and another layer. And as you build this resonance field of energy around you, you're like becoming more and more and more potent. And this works as not only bringing outside energies in to help you in the form of synchronicities. Maybe you meet an old friend and they have some words of wisdom for you. Maybe, a scenario happens that brings more healing into your life. You're becoming magnetic when you work with ritual and practical magic to get your desired outcome, which in this case would be we want to heal. Or maybe, maybe you have a specific, the specific thing you're healing, but you've been struggling with it. So you want help with that specific thing. Well, the exact same thing. Then you build your ritual up around with more specifics. Maybe you're writing somebody's name on a piece of paper and burning it. Right now you're showing to your conscious mind that you really want this to be gone. And maybe your conscious mind will listen. It will stop bringing it up because you're giving it this mirror. You're not just having this internal dialogue that can often get jumbled up, right? Like I am all for I journal and journal and journal. I'm all for getting what's in here out here. I like my mind to be clear. I find that, the act of journaling helps you to work things out and come to different conclusions that you never would have had stumbled upon had you not started writing and journaling. So maybe that was our bonus 4th one, journaling. Okay, so to recap, again, if these resonated with you, try. If not, no big deal. Kundalini Yoga to help you support your nervous system for the deep healing work that you're going to do. Please check out the links below to jump on my channel and practice with me. I would love that. 2 is soul retrieval or timeline healing. Learn about yourself throughout your life. Get those big impressions. Where did they come from? Where did the energy get stuck? Where did things get contorted? Where did a belief get planted that is no longer serving you, that is keeping you stuck and playing small, and you are ready to evolve? Go back. Give yourself the healing balm in the form of love, fire, power, whatever you needed. Okay? And then the 3rd one is ritual. Get those things that are in your head out. Start working with them. Call on the forces of nature. Call upon your gods and guides and teachers and masters. Call upon the forces to help you because they are here and they are ready and willing to step up and step in. Absolutely. And our little bonus one, journal, my friend. You have no idea how brilliant you are and how many ideas that you have if you just start allowing them to flow. All right. I hope you have enjoyed this video. I really do hope it's been helpful. Those practices have been so helpful for me along my journey. If you want to know more about the healing journey and the different layers, that's going to be my next video. I highly suggest you jump and watch that one next. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing to my channel. Please leave me a like and a comment. I would love that. And until next time, take sweet care. Bye for now.